What's up, guys? Welcome to Shacknews Twitch Channel. Today's Monday, January 24th. We're here with the newest episode of the wide world of electronic sports. We're here with the host with the most. We're talking Brian, Phil, Rodney. What's up, guys? Probably help if I unmuted you all, too. Anybody there?
Yes.
Hello?
Okay. Sorry about that. I guess none of that, you guys didn't hear anything as I was muted, but I did introduce you all to the crowd. I'm sorry. Once again, Wide World, episode 116. Here with Brian, Phil, Rodney. Guys, what's going on?
Yo, Chris, well, thank you for that amazing intro, which I'm sure was incredible. The best you've ever done. Yes, I'm back. It's Bryan Lefler with my two co-hosts, Rodney Conyers Jr. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Even better now, man. It's January's been a weird month for the show, so I'm back to, I want to get in the swing of things. So
Yeah. So glad to have you with us. And of course, always with us is the phenomenal Phil Visu. How are you doing, my friend?
Man, freaking tastic. Actually got up before noon today, so that right there is a W in itself.
Nice. Getting those W's early today. Taking them. Well, so glad to have both of you with us. So glad to bring you another week of electronic sports news with Krabs Gerard, our technical director, in the background, keeping it all together. Let's get into it, though. We got a lot of news to cover today, and some of it is so big that I'm sure we'll be talking about it for a little while. This first one, especially, it's breaking news. It just happened. ESL Gaming and FACEIT have been bought, sold to Savvy Gaming Group for $1.5 billion collectively. $1 billion for ESL Gaming and $500 million for FACEIT Gaming. These two organizations are some of the biggest in esports. I mean, ESL and FACEIT, they host huge, large-scale events. They have hundreds of employees. They run professional leagues for games like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, Rocket League, you name it, the biggest esports there are. What do you guys think about this move to a Saudi gaming-based organization dipping their toes into esports? Rodney, I'll let you take it away.
I'm gonna have to take the Phil approach on this one. Money talks and bullshit walks. So I mean, if you got the funds, then put them up to see what happens. And me coming into esports at like a very young age, I had always knew of like ESL and E League and kind of what they meant for the community. They're also putting video games on TV, which for a while was completely unheard of on a regular basis. I mean, every so often, you would catch like G4 back in the day, or maybe something really late on ESPN2, but they kept esports on TV on a regular basis. And I think that this is just huge. Anybody would be lucky to have ESL. Let's keep it real.
Man, I'm gonna keep it real. I saw a 1.5 billion. I was like, huh? What? And then I was like, so I saw the Saudi back, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, Saudi Arabia, they got that oil. You know what I'm saying? They got that real money over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bush back in the day was trying to, was it Bush? I don't know. Somebody was trying to get that oil, yeah. But you know what? You can see why, because the money's there, the profit's there. 1.5 billion. ESL is just, I mean, I've always wanted to work for ESL, never got the chance. Maybe one day. FACEIT, incredibly huge as well. So the fact that like their worth was like worth that combined is insane to me. But that's a good look for them, man. That money's official, so I ain't mad. Shit, my DMs are open. Slide in. Let's talk. Let's talk, Rod.
Yeah, this has got to be one of the biggest deals in esports takeovers, esports acquisitions. Do you think? I don't think anything really will change as far as ESL is currently run, though. I doubt they're going to want to, mess things up. I mean, obviously, what ESL has going on is working for them. When a new owner buys a big company like this, you're not going to want to shake things up too much. Obviously, I think we'll still have tournaments running the way they have been. What do you think?
I think so. And I feel like it's best, especially for something really big like this, because the more we move further into the age of information, things like this that could have got swept under the rug, it was like some background stuff, back in the day. Now it's like you make any sort of industry move and it's just going to be on everybody's radar. And there's a lot of people out there waiting for them to be like, oh, this company bought ESL. Man, watch them fire all the employees. Watch them do this. Watch them do that. Like, look, if there was a formula at hand that was working, obviously put your sauce on it, but don't do it too quick. let the company run and see how it works, and then from there you can implement your visions and ideas. But then again, who am I to, judge? I don't have $1 billion to buy a company, so hell, do whatever the hell you want.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right. I think that model is pretty simple, right? And for a lot of folks, I feel like it's like, oh, we done take over, we got to put our own little personal twist and all this other gibberish and bullshit. That's how you kill something great. Okay? George Foreman Grill was perfect when it was just George and his boys working on that. And he got all techie and introduced all these white folks who don't know nothing about grilling or cooking nothing. No offense to you personally, Brian. And look what happened. No one even talks about that grill anymore. It's ridiculous.
He has a point. I mean, look at the Scary Movie franchise. 1 and 2 is different than 3 and 4. I mean, he's not wrong.
I got a question. If I wasn't tossed in with the white bad grillers like Brian there accidentally, does that mean that I got to pass ahead of time?
Or does he, Phil?
I'm going to say under review.
Dang.
I'm going to say under review. I'll give you a chance to show you stuff. Yeah,
I'll accept responsibility for ruining the George Foreman grill right now, and I apologize.
What, did they put Bluetooth on it or something stupid that white people would want?
Man, we get sauce talk too early.
Yeah, too early.
little too early. All right, we still got this huge deal to talk about, though. Yeah, I don't think things will change too much right now as far as ESL and FACEIT goes. Obviously, though, you don't spend $1.5 billion to not put your spin on things or run things under your vision, obviously. But maybe their vision is to just get one of the biggest acquisitions they could and one of the most valuable, and just have that investment in esports. I think this is, if you look at our article, it's the first investment Saudi has done into esports. They've actually been doing investments into football, like European football, buying up clubs over there. So they've bought one club already. They're in the talks to buy a couple more. But so that's real sports, and this is the first time they're dipping their toes into esports. And I mean, for a first time dip, $1.5 billion is a pretty big splash, don't you think?
If these are the same Saudis that bought into the World Wrestling Federation and into Formula One, I wouldn't put a whole lot of value into the amount they paid for this, because they're known to grossly overpay to the order of magnitude like 10x,
Wow.
for equivalent things. And they also like to build water parks in the desert, which are not exactly cost prohibitive.
Oh, well, good point. I mean, I'm from the Midwest. We got a lot of water parks in the middle of nowhere here, but
yeah, but you guys
it's a little different.
Yeah, Midwest. We talking about billions of dollars here. Y'all don't even know what millions is, so we gonna just end the discussion there, Rodney. We're gonna end the discussion there, Rodney.
You know where Warren Buffett's from, Phil. Warren Buffett's from Omaha, Nebraska, right? I'm just gonna put it like that. Don't do that, Phil. I said don't do it.
Phil, you don't know me. I paid cash money for my 05 Tahoe a couple of months ago.
Not bad.
I respect it.
I'm balling out of control over here.
Yeah, that's balling.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, it had 398,000 miles, but it's mine.
That's true.
No one can take it from you. No one's gonna want to take it from you. So that's the
joke's on you. It's got dubs on it too. No, let's get back to the Saudis.
I mean, some people are paying cash for a nice whip. Some people are paying cash for
Healthcare.
a 600 employee esports organization. And just to close up this story, I mean, I think if it means good things, like if it's a huge cash injection towards ESL and esports and in-person tournaments and professional leagues, I say, great. I mean, we need more of this, right? This is definitely going to be, it's going to be big news for both of these orgs, and I'm excited to see how their tournaments shape up in the future with all of this money going around.
Same. It's going to be a lot of eyes, so they better perform properly. That's all I'm going to say.
That's facts.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on, because there's more acquisitions, more deals to talk about. And you think $1.5 billion is a lot of money, right? I mean, that is a crazy amount of money. But what about $70 billion? Obviously, that's the deal everyone's been talking about, the Activision Blizzard Microsoft deal. Microsoft setting to acquire Activision Blizzard pending approval. I mean, I don't think anything's going to block it. I think it'll go through and make Microsoft probably, I mean, the biggest gaming company in the world at that point. It's pretty crazy, but it means a lot of questions for the esports side of things because Activision holds the keys to a lot of esports franchises. And do you think this means anything for our favorite Overwatch? What do you think? Nobody wants to touch
Overwatch.
it.
No, I'll touch it. Well, I think it's actually. So I saw some people talking about this on Twitter, and they're like, it's interesting, and it could be a really good thing, the acquisition, because maybe they'll kind of clean up the company's image and get rid of some of the riffraff and just kind of get things back on track and, this respectable gaming company that we had once known them as, right? Before all this drama and this stuff came out about them. Personally, I'm not like a big Microsoft guy myself. But I mean, when you got money like that and you making moves like that, that just tells me that you're legitimately investing in something that you believe in. So if you got a good company that's established and respected, then they're probably going to do some good with this, right? Like, I don't think it's just going to be like we're just burning money for the hell of it, right? Like, why the hell would you do that?
Is this your first Microsoft acquisition?
Me?
You just describe what they did with all their previous ones.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it is. I mean, shit. I'm not I'm not the article guy. I'm not the article guy. I'm hoping. This is first time here meme right here. I'm hoping that some good comes out of this, and we don't get Fortnite 2 before we get Overwatch 2. That's
remember Skype.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just have to say real quick though. I mean, on their official marketing for this acquisition, out of the games they've shown, 4 of them are esports focused. Overwatch, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, StarCraft all have big presence in the esports scene. I think that says a lot for what Microsoft wants to do. I think they want to make these franchises as big as they were or bigger.
Yeah, when you also think of just like what esports was, like the online gaming era, like how that really came to be, Microsoft you were kind of the forerunners in that. I mean, yes, could the GameCube go online back in the day? Yeah, but for like 2 or 3 games, and I think maybe even 2 of the 3 were Japanese exclusive titles. The PlayStation could, but when we think of online gaming, we always think, or not even just online, when we think of just the interconnectivity of these systems, we think of Xbox first. And I also think with them also acquiring Smash GG, I know we talked about that a few episodes ago, but that's a really huge thing for them too, because now they not only control the games that are being played, but they also control how you're going to host them and how you're going to put them on the internet for people to, enjoy and become a part of. It's just kind of like this unspoken console company where, remember Sony was making some really good moves back in the summer. I think partnering with Evo and a bunch of other stuff. Now Xbox they want their chance in the limelight, and damn it, they're doing it in a good way.
Also bring up a discussion we had with the staff earlier last week about what potentially happens to the Battle.net infrastructure and system as it's been around for since the mid-90s. It's played host to the network back end of some of the biggest esports events in the history of the world, and it's now currently serving as the online back end for all of Call of Duty. It started on the PC, but once they went to crossplay and had to roll their own to run for, they couldn't just rely on the Sony or Xbox Live back end. And all that's built there, it's kind of wondering, like, where does that go now, as, Blizzard was kind of handling all that for multiple games.
Yeah, that's a great question. Battle.net is ancient, but Blizzard has people working on that who are tech wizards. I mean, they've been keeping that thing going for so long under constant maintenance, and the amount of users they've been able to have on that concurrently for all the different games that they serve is
World of Warcraft
impressive.
never goes down for more than a few seconds, and it's been 20 years of it.
Yeah. And for them to actually, you bring up Call of Duty, and that actually was impressive in itself, how quickly they were able to have Call of Duty rolled into Battle.net after the merger with Activision when they brought it over. It's definitely a good question. I mean, Microsoft, I don't know if they would want to just burn it all down. I feel like as a technology company themselves, they would want to take the best parts of Battle.net and merge that into whatever they can with Xbox Live, probably.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
That's a good point.
That's gonna go to shit. Hopefully not.
There was a Microsoft
negative
when they did it first time.
I got real negative there. I'm sorry.
No. It's a good opinion. I mean, Microsoft doesn't have maybe the track record that Blizzard has, keeping their service going. But I mean, I feel like Xbox Live has had a very good uptime. Usually, it doesn't go down for more than an afternoon or so when they do have hiccups. I feel like, I don't know. I just they have so many users that they're serving through BattleNet right now.
Yeah.
A hard transition to Xbox Live would definitely be, or the Windows Store would definitely be not a great idea. I mean,
I think if it was just Overwatch and
and Windows
StarCraft
Store
2,
stuff
they
is
wouldn't touch it.
still kind of not great.
Yeah.
I'm
What
sorry.
would you say, Crap?
Let's say, I think if the only thing that we're still servicing would be StarCraft and the Overwatch backends, possibly they would consider shuttering it quicker. But the number of folks using the Call of Duty now that they've decided to, Warzone with all that stuff, it's just a lot of people. And there was also that micro shitstorm they endured when they first decoupled Call of Duty from Steam and went the Activision way the first time too. So I have a feeling whatever they decide to do, there's going to be pushback from at least one side, but hopefully it gets itself worked out.
Yeah, it's a great question. We'll see what happens. I don't think BattleNet's going anywhere in the immediate future, but if it goes away, in the next few years, and there is a more of a transition to Game Pass, encompassing everything, we'll have to see, because tying World of Warcraft subscriptions into Game Pass would be a huge move for that game. There's just lots of things they could do, and especially lots of things they could do on the league side of things. These have questions for Call of Duty League, Overwatch League, all of these, different esports leagues that have been running in the past. Do you think that Microsoft is going to be committed into keeping these going, or as kind of they haven't really had as much of a focus into the esports side of things? Do you think they might just let them go?
Dude, they should just keep letting it rock. Just don't blow anything
Yeah.
up. That's it. I think it's just that simple. Like, just, why, again, it's one of those things where you don't come in and piss people off, especially if there's a lot of people skeptical. You already had failed blunders in the past. Just keep it on the level. Just don't bug it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Phil on that. I mean, this seems very cut and dry, black and white. If it's working, why tweak it?
Facts.
And the last question I just wanted to ask that also stems from that article, which Ozzy did a great job on, is do you think Call of Duty will remain multi-platform in the long run? I mean, obviously, they're committed to the contracts that are currently going. Obviously, they came out and said that they were committed to their current contracts. So maybe we'll see Call of Duty on PlayStation for the next 5 years or so. But what do you think, guys? Do you think after Microsoft would pull it?
I feel like they're gonna pull it, and only because PlayStation was kind of the first one to start making not the first one, but the first one culturally to make the boom and like making things console exclusive. And again, with the industry moves that they're making in the background, we have seen it from the Sony end of things, from the fighting game realm. Of course, Xbox, they're making plays the way that they're making them. They would be fools to not make it a console exclusive thing. I mean, that's just a good way to, generate a lot of money. I mean, sure, they can make it multi-platform, but you don't spend $70 billion and not keep a couple things for yourself. I mean, Call of Duty and Halo, I'm gonna just put it I'm just gonna leave it there. All right. I got Call of Duty and I got Halo as a company. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna tell me now?
I could see a situation where if they decide to keep Warzone separate from the mainline Call of Duty games, where the games themselves would be Microsoft exclusive, where they may keep the all-encompassing cross-play Warzone type thing as open as they can to keep the microtransaction train rolling. Possibly even moving it onto phones if they could. I don't know if that's possible.
Oh, forgot about that. Didn't even think about the phone aspect.
It's on phones already.
Because when you're free to play like that, you want as many eyes as possible, I guess, to
That's true.
microtransact.
Now that would be a great idea to have Warzone as the multi-platform game that you keep running, like your Minecraft that they already have. But if they made the mainline Call of Duties exclusive to Xbox, the mainline, whatever Modern Warfares, whatever Black Ops, whatever numbered games that they have, the Vanguards and whatever, if those were Xbox exclusive, I mean, that would shake up things a lot.
Well, you bring up Minecraft. That is kind of the best example we probably have to go from in this case, because it was already widespread when Microsoft took it, and they did nothing to inhibit its growth, and you know, worked with everybody to make sure it was available everywhere.
Yeah, but Minecraft, I just feel like Minecraft is a little different. I mean, there is like a little bit of competitive viability to it, but like Call of Duty and Halo, like these two games are just running esports right now. Like the only thing that goes above them, or well, I'm not gonna say the only thing. There are a lot of games that go above those, but they're up there in the upper echelon. I feel like it'd be a really good thing for them. And granted, they did this a little late. I wish they would have did this maybe like as their most recent system was coming out, but you know, 5-6 years, they're working on the next, you know, Xbox, whatever. Hey, next Call of Duty's coming out exclusively for this. I mean, that's a huge selling point. Again, there are pros and cons to that, but I think, man, if we know these companies as well as we think we do, I would be a fool to not do it. I would make it a console exclusive thing.
Do it, baby. Do it. Do it.
I agree with you. I mean, I have to put my opinion in there, obviously. And yes, I agree with you. I think Microsoft will eventually make mainline Call of Duty games Xbox exclusive. It's just it's an exclusive that is I'm sure console makers, you know, first parties have been dying to have, you know, for a long time. Obviously, when Call of Duty was only on PlayStation, or I mean, it was very good for them.
I was going to ask, we all are in agreement that the Call of Duty train is going to keep on rolling, and Microsoft will be putting out stuff, but do you think that they may keep the release cycle that Activision has going on, where they just keep absorbing development houses to stick on to the factory line to keep pumping out these things every year,
just yearly,
just never stop? Because I think Activision had at one point the 3 main studios they had making the games, but then they had 6 to 8 ancillary studios. They did nothing at the company other than support those 3 to make sure they got the game out every 12 months.
Activision has actually buried a lot of those 6 ancillary studios you talk about. They used to make great, unique games, and it kind of would be a shame, I feel like, for Microsoft to have them stay on that course and not let them back into, you know, creative freedom. I mean, you gotta let these, and I feel like Microsoft, if any first party developer and publisher, would be the best one to foster that, because they've been all about, you know, buying up studios and letting them make pretty much whatever they want, or letting their projects that they were working on, you know, release to their fullest. Like Psychonauts 2 is a perfect example. I think it would be a great idea for them to make Call of Duty a multi-year game again.
We shall see.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. 100%.
It's a great question. All of these questions obviously won't have any answers until the future, until this acquisition is even set in stone. But once it is, man, Microsoft is going to be a juggernaut for sure in the gaming space. I mean, they already are, but this is just, it's a completely next level for them.
The jug will be much larger.
Yes, it will. Let's move on to our Smash story of the day, with a collegiate league that Rodney was fortunate enough to cast the NACE Star League Collegiate Finals, featuring a lot of schools: Manchester Community College, University of Manchester University, University of Texas at Austin, University of Illinois. I mean, a lot more, with a 32-man double elimination bracket. Rodney, take it away. Let us or tell us all about this tournament that you got to cast.
So this tournament was put together by CSL, Star League, and our wonderful friends up in the Great White North, Waveform Media. Big shout out to the team there. They are some of the masterminds behind, you know, events like Get on My Level, Let's Make Big Moves, EGLX, so on and so forth. And honestly, they're outsourced at a lot of majors, just in general. So you've probably seen these guys before, but you know, I know that this is like a bit of a smaller one, and I also know too that Smash news, because of everything that's kind of going on in the world, is a little bit harder to come by. But I thought that this was really cool. Kind of taking a trip back in time. You know, we're going back to the online format. You know, I have my thoughts and my whatever about it, but I thought that for something like an educational tournament, that this is really good. You know, just getting all these schools involved, getting all these young people involved too, in ways that, like, myself, when I would have been in college, like, I didn't even have these opportunities to play video games and potentially make $1,000 in a weekend. So, but all jokes aside though, looking at stuff like this, I think it lets me know that the Smash community and just really gaming overall is in good hands. I'm a firm believer that when you have players in a community, you know, especially young players, you have to make sure that their introductory period to competitive anything is met the right way. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that we have to like hold anybody's hands or, you know, give them training wheels or whatever, but at least provide them with the proper environment for them to maybe, you know, excel and move to that next level. And I think in a collegiate format like this, where there's a very strong structure, the TOs are doing their thing the way that they're supposed to be doing it. There's an obvious prize pool on the line. Each team has a coach that's hyping you up along the way. You know, you're playing for a lot of school pride. I mean, young people really need this type of stuff. And, you know, just to see it go down the way it was, and it was ran smooth as well. Apparently, this was the finals. So there was a whole circuit before this that I had no idea was even happening, like right up underneath my nose. But they asked me to come in and do the finals. And I was like, I am thoroughly impressed with this talent. And I hope to see more of this in the future. I think I linked a little bit about grand finals in there. It was a young man named Noodle who was playing Wii Fit Trainer. A lot of character variety in this tournament, mind you. And that's another good thing about the collegiate format, is that it's a bit of a break from the norm from your Pyra and Mithra, your Joku, Palutena. You get to see other characters shine. But on the opposite side, though, there was a Ness, our good friend Rescue Nerd down in Texas. And so even though it was a hard-fought battle, at the end of the day, the tier list ended up winning, and Rescue Nerd was able to edge it out over Noodle. But both of those two players, yeah, I mean, and they're both talented players, but I think in a case like this, though, you just never know who's going to be like the next MKLeo, the next Tweak, the next Spargo. And I think in the Smash community, the collegiate-based format is something that just doesn't get enough light. It doesn't get enough shine. And you never know. Our next champion could be right under our nose at a community college somewhere, you know?
No, you're absolutely right. And I think that's great that they asked you to come on and do the finals. I mean, that's a great honor to be able to do collegiate Smash, because you're absolutely right. It's a part of the Smash esports scene that doesn't get enough light. And I'm glad that we can shine a spotlight on it whenever we can, because yeah, these young up and coming players, some of them might be the next pros that are you'll see, you know, in some of these top tier tournaments like you've been talking about, like Let's Make Big Moves and all these other ones. Yeah, it was great to see this tournament, and I love to see Smash being played for, you know, a good cause, whether it's online or offline. And yeah, it looked like you got to call some really awesome Smash there. Let's move on to our next story, though, which is kind of Smash adjacent, but it's just another platform fighter, I guess you would say, if you were a fighting game purist. Brawhalla has been known to have some of the biggest esports money out there in fighting games. I mean, its publisher Ubisoft, you know, they're committed to having this game be a staple for platform fighter esports. And last year they had $1 million prize pool, which we talked about on this show. And now we're talking about year seven in Brawhalla esports, and it's going to be even bigger with a $1.32 million prize pool. I mean,
you see this, Nintendo? This is what it's like to not be embarrassed of the games you make.
Yeah. What's up? There he is. He's back.
We got Phil on wheels.
Can you hear me, Mom?
Yeah, we can. There we go. Phil's remote.
HD is all hell.
I got a good phone, man. Let the show roll on, baby. I'll be here.
Excellent.
You gotta put it in landscape mode so he gets 4K.
So we just finished talking about collegiate esport or collegiate Smash esports, and now we're talking about Brawhalla, the other platform fighter that somehow puts up big money because Ubisoft cares about the game. Obviously, that's how they do it. And they're putting up $1.32 million this year as a total prize pool versus last year's $1 million prize pool. What do you think about Brawhalla eSport? Like Ubisoft just showing up Nintendo 2 years in a row now on investment into their platform fighter eSports.
Okay, so I like the narrative. Let's say I like it. I love it. I love the narrative that, you know, there is a bit of competitive something going on in the background. I think most notably looking at Smash and when they released Sora, and then Nickelodeon All-Stars, like that release date kind of all lined up with each other. Like it goes without saying that all these companies are watching each other. But one thing's for sure, like it's one thing to try to show Nintendo up, which I feel like just at a very generalized level isn't hard to do. Just listen to your community and dump money there. But I don't even think Nintendo gives a shit. At least so far. I mean, they got a circuit that they haven't really talked about yet. I've been waiting to cover it with you, Brian. I'm like, where the hell is this circuit at? Phil and I, we got stuff to talk about. But anyway, though, looking at Brawhalla, I think that this is a real good thing. They are obviously giving their community and their players something to work towards. I did see a little bit of pushback, and I'm talking like this much pushback about how the prizing was split up. Of course, Australia, they're receiving significantly less than North America is, or just really everybody else besides them. So
it is a prison colony.
Well, when you put it that way, and so yeah, it's Brawhalla, of course, are always going to push the envelope, and I think that stuff like this just really encourages the community to join. In the past, when you would see organizations dump this type of money, you were thinking the game must suck. They're just dumping money in to get you to play. But no, they're actually very active in the community. They have, players who were on Metafy and stuff long before Smashers were. I mean, they are really invested into esports. And so big shout out to them for this.
All right. So I'm going to keep it a stack. Seeing that prize pool for Brawhalla just makes me wish I'd actually returned that DM I got to cast that shit a couple years ago. I would be on the top of the world right now. I'm not going to cap. I mean, if they're paying that much, like the players, that staff is getting paid. But honestly, they deserve that shit, man. They're backed by the right people. I mean, the game could take off and be even bigger than it already is. And this is like, it's kind of crazy that that's the platform that has this kind of money attached to it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the game is actually dope. It's just I feel like it's a lot to learn right now, right? I'll watch it like casually, but I don't know anything like competitive wise too hard. I know you wouldn't know that by my amazing casting at PAX West, but besides that point, I'm just saying it's a good look, you know what I'm saying? So I honestly, I hope some of like the Smashers get into Brawlhalla and get, try and line their pockets, man, because that's a good opportunity to take advantage of.
Yeah, it most definitely is. And we've actually had the opportunity to work with some of their community developers. Whether it's I know you don't go to Combo Breaker, I do, but all the Dream Hacks, they're always there right next to us doing their thing. And these people, they mean well. Everything that we ask for in the Smash, or really just in the platform fighting community, everything that we ask for from our developers, just to listen to us, feedback, hit the ground running with us. When there's tournaments, don't send representatives to work your position. We want to see your face. Come show up and get your hands dirty. And they do it tenfold. I just wish more people played the game. I don't know what it is that deters people from Brawlhalla, but I think with a prize pool like this, hell, if you played the game once or if you played it 100,000 times, I expect to see you in bracket, because this is a lot of chatter.
Yeah, they've announced that each seasonal championship, so the 3 seasonal championships are going to have, or I mean more than that actually, basically all of the big seasonal championship events are going to have a $100,000 prize pool total. And then the final seasonal, the big grand final championship will have a $500,000 prize pool, which is just huge, and it'll all add up to the 1.32 that they've promised. No, I do want to touch on though how you mentioned that some of the community is kind of griping about the Australian and Southeast Asia regions not getting as much money as the bigger regions. And there obviously is it's a way less populated prize pool or a player pool, right? Like there's not enough or not as many players.
Well, yeah, and you also there's a lot on the line too. I mean, we've seen it most notably with the Smash World Tour. Even though I know that like online Smash is not a good comparison to make in any fast online Ultimate. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Online Melee is lit. However, it's difficult to work with that region of the world. And they have very talented players, but the fact remains the same. Like, hey, you guys are great. Much smaller area. You're much, more closed off. We got to focus on North America. That's where the viewership comes from. That's where the money is. That's just simple metrics one-on-one. We can't help everybody the way we want to. But the fact that we have this much money, I think is a good start.
I don't know that Australians are worth helping. Oh,
do you
that's
think
for
winning
a podcast though.
Yeah, but do you think winning $1,000 for a first place placement in one of these seasonal championships is a $1,000 payout if you're in the Australian or Southeast Asia region, where you get $6,000 if you're in NA? I mean, I think that kind of difference don't you think if they offered a little bit more, they might get more players to come out of the woodwork or switch over from maybe some, Smash Brothers or something else?
Yeah, but I mean, even look at like our competitive. So like, let's just look at platform fighters in general. Like in Smash, we have some players, down there that play very well, but there's not very many. Same with Rivals of Aether, same with Rushdown Revolt. There's players all over, but I just $1,000 obviously is not a lot. I know, there could certainly be more money put on the line, but when I look at the player scope down there, I'm like, hey, there's not very many of y'all that do it at this level. Now, when you guys move to the next portion of bracket where y'all have to now play people from North America and X, Y, and Z, now you're playing for the big bucks. But I mean, hell, just, tell more people in the world to go live in Australia and then we can, put more money on the line. I feel like it's a pretty simple fix, right?
I mean, like, how I don't understand this, like, reason to complain about anything. You could just get nothing. How about that? Would you like that a little bit better? Would you like to just be excluded, period? You should be thankful that you're being included in this, okay? And I understand it's like you feel a little shortchanged, but clearly if they're putting this kind of money into it, it's just year one. Year two could be different, but just show up and show out, show you're worth investing into, and get, do it even bigger next time. It makes more sense, from their standpoint to funnel the money into where they know their largest region and activity is and viewership is. Like, that's just really what it is. And that's not a knock against any of those players up there to just, sometimes you're handicapped by where you live. Personally, I think it's a fair trade-off. North America gets a better prize pool. You guys have better COVID numbers. See ya.
Damn. I'd also like to note here the research says that this is in fact the 7th year they've done this, not the first.
Yeah. 7th year that they've been running Brawhalla eSports, and their payouts have just been getting bigger and bigger.
I appreciated the monologue though. Either way, I'm having a great time.
No, it is interesting though. It's a good point that he makes, and I mean, players from that region, obviously, I mean, they're going to be used to being excluded from some tournaments. Like Rodney was saying, a lot of tournaments just wouldn't run in that region. A lot of games, they only focus on the region where they have the largest player base, and the tournament just runs there. And if you want to play, then you have to travel, or you have to register, and play outside of your time zone and outside, with a terrible ping disadvantage, and you just have to deal with it or whatever if they would even allow that. It is fortunate that they get to play and that they do get some prize money. I feel like though that yes, the best players will get to move on. They will get to play in the grand championships for that big $500,000 prize pool. I mean, there is a chance for big money, obviously, for everyone in Brawhalla, and it looks like that game is just Ubisoft is not letting Brawhalla esports die, no matter what their numbers are looking like compared to maybe obviously Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they would be a fool just to let it fall by the wayside. They've been doing awesome stuff. Great collabs, WWE, Adventure Time, or AEW, excuse me, Adventure Time. Rayman, there's a lot of cool stuff to be, done in that game. And, the competitive, spectrum, the ceiling is just getting taller and taller. I'm seeing crazy combos online. So, I mean, with that in mind, they're kind of just in a lane, in a league of their own. And I guess, they just have a formula and they just want to stick to it. And they haven't really had a reason to change it because nobody can really match them from a business standpoint. Like, no other platform fighter is putting up money like that. No other platform fighter that's competitive like that is putting up money. They're kind of doing what all the other communities kind of asked for. So, but I'm a believer that WB Multiverses, they might dump some money into this and do what Nick couldn't. And, maybe Brawhalla might have a little competition here pretty soon.
It might. I mean, sorry, go ahead, Phil.
I was going to say, no, I agree. Like, I think, the more competitive games that we have, like with this kind of backing, is only a good thing for like the ecosystem in general.
No, it absolutely is. And I think with Nintendo's somewhat more, well, Nintendo's like their admittance of esports, with the Panda Global tournament that they announced. Although we'll see if that takes place, if it'll be delayed or anything. I think Nintendo is somewhat committed to esports, but obviously not on the level that Ubisoft is committing. We'll see if this can get Nintendo to commit a little bit more in the future. It all, I think, goes down or just goes to see. We'll have to wait. Sorry, I should say, to see how the Nintendo their circuit goes, and we'll have to see if maybe Smash World Tour can pull out something even bigger and better as well. I know you guys wrapped up Smash World Tour, and I didn't really get to talk about the finals or anything, but I did just want to touch on that just being also one of the bigger payout events for platform fighters and platform esports. And yeah, I think with this kind of addition, it's just a great thing for the entire ecosystem. Let's move on, though. I feel like everybody here is following. I know some of them aren't, though. And if you aren't, you got to be following the channel. We had some follows, though, in chat earlier. And thank you so much to all of them. You guys are doing it for Shacknews just by following the channel, just by being here and watching the show.
Already better than Australians, just for
no, you're not doing it better than Sam is, because Sam's doing it for Shacknews every single day. Surfer Boy Sam in chat is doing it for Shacknews, and you can do it as well by subscribing to the channel if you can. We take all of those subscriptions. It's only $5. If you have an Amazon Prime account, though, you get a Prime Gaming subscription, which gives you a free sub every single month. So you kick that our way, and we take those. Those are Bezos bucks, and we love them. We're happy to have them. But if you can't watch all of the live shows that we have, because there's so many of them, you can always check us out over on YouTube. We have a couple of channels, Shacknews Games and Gamer Hub Videos, the two places where you can scope out thousands of hours of exclusive content. I'm talking developer interviews, unboxings, reviews, previews. We're going to have all of our Twitch VODs hosted over there as well. Going to be tons of stuff. So if you miss it here, you can check it out over there. Make sure you subscribe to Shacknews Games and Gamer Hub Videos. And also, if you like what you're checking out over there, make sure you talk about it on your social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place over there at Shacknews on Twitter and Facebook, Shacknews Media on Instagram. And you can go talk to Denny Von Doom because he's holding it down. Where's the shout out, Chris?
DVD.
There it is. DVD. Denny Von Doom holding things down over on our social media platforms. You can give him a follow, give him a quote, tweet, a retweet, a message, all of that good stuff. But don't send him a pet pic, because you can save those pet pics for our social media platform, a brand new one called Shack Pets. It's free. It's been a great success. You can find it on the Play Store or the iOS, the App Store. It's, like I said, absolutely free as in beer. Doesn't cost you anything. You can upload pet pics. You can battle other pet pics to see who's the cutest, and you can earn tons of Shack points by doing so. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, though. But make sure you go to shacknews.com, talk about Shack Pets over on the chatty, talk about everything, use Cortex, and check out all of the articles, all of the great features that we have going up, all kinds of great stuff over at shacknews.com. That's why we're here.
There's never been a better time to visit.
Never been a better time. Never. So thank you, everyone, for being here as well. Again, on this amazing episode of Wide World of Electronic Sports. I'm doing so well on my first time back. Aren't I, guys? Just nailing it.
Hey, man, as long as you're back, we got to start there. We're just happy to have you.
Absolutely. Let's move on, though, because we got some more real esports to talk about. We haven't talked about the LCS in a little while. And there was a event that's been going on. It's been going on since the 14th, taking place until the 30th. The LCS Lock-in 2022 only has 1 week left, but there's been some huge upsets. Dignitas was able to knock out your team, Rodney. I'm so sorry to say, but 100 Thieves has been knocked out in the quarterfinals. So they're not going to be able to move on. I know they're your boys. Now Dignitas gets to move on to face Team Liquid in the semis. Evil Geniuses are going to match up against Cloud9 on the other side of the bracket. What do you got to say about this, Phil? Or not Phil, I'm sorry, Rodney, because I know Thousand Thieves is your team, and Phil, I'm sure you got something to say as well.
I like Dignitas a little bit as well, only because Phil and I, we have a mutual friend, Hugs. He played. I don't know if he's still with Dignitas or if he played for them once upon a time, but I also know he's not playing Smash anymore, so I don't know if he's actually on the team. But whatever the case may be, had the opportunity to meet some of those people. I know Phil has as well, and they're really, really nice people on the inside. And sometimes that's enough for me to just really fall in love with the team. However, it cannot come at the expense of my 100 Thieves, though, which is very unfortunate. But look, I'm gonna put it like this: 100 Thieves are good at everything. Okay, like somewhere they got to falter, and if it's gonna be the LCS, so be it. Okay, no other team can beat them in content and cool shit, Brian. So that's my take on it.
That is a very copium take. I understand it though. A copium. My team is doing terrific. I'm Team Cloud9 for that for the LCS, and I am only Team Cloud9 because they continue to hire me to host for them on their Twitch channel. So that's a good enough sell for me. It's all about the dollar bill. I'm not a big league guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've often impersonated sometimes. I tried to pass myself off as challenger, but I was called out when I couldn't present the jacket. So there's a lot of things have gone wrong in my league career, I must confess. But I'll tell you what, the big shows I watch because that production is top notch every single time.
No, you're absolutely right. LCS and League in general have had some of the best production. I thought Worlds was one of the best final, if not the best World final in all of esports last year. It was an amazing show to watch, and I just think Dignitas upsetting 100 Thieves is great. It's great to see. I love these kind of upsets in esports. I love it when I love it when somebody, the underdog. Everybody loves the underdog. Everybody loves a little bit of shakeup in the bracket, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if Dignitas can take this forward and actually get through semis against Team Liquid. That would be very impressive. But we'll see if they can do it. I'm actually hoping EG beats Cloud9 there, Phil. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, I know. But I've just been kind of an EG. I like their Dota team for a long time.
Those fighting words, Brian. I don't know, man. Those are fighting words.
It is. So we'll see what'll happen. Make sure you tune into LCS stuff, though, if you're interested in watching this league bracket. It concludes very shortly, 6 days on the 30th. So not a lot of time left for the LCS lock in 2022, but still a lot of time left in the entire LCS season. They're just getting started. This is only one of the big first tournament events that will be happening all year long, and we'll be talking about them. What do you guys think? Do you think this bodes well for 100 Thieves and the rest of their year, or do you think this might be a rough start for them?
It could be a rough. I mean, hey, I don't want to speak that bad mojo into the universe. Everybody has a rough start. I had a rough start to my 2022. Okay, I had a lot of bullshit that went on in the background. I'm still standing and glistening. So if I'm glistening, I know 100 Thieves is doing it times 10. But no, I mean, all jokes aside, this is definitely a rough start. I like underdogs. Again, Dignitas, a lot of great people on the inside. It just, you see stuff like this, and you just almost can't help but to wonder if this is maybe a domino effect. Like, is Dignitas? I mean, I actually don't know if they switched the roster around for the 2022 season or not, but are they really the underdogs anymore? I mean, they could actually be, the next thing since sliced bread. Who knows?
Well, their record in this lock-in is actually not that great. It was kind of a big upset because they're just 1-3. I mean, It looks like they got the win that they needed in order to move on in the knockout phase. I mean, just getting that clutch victory in the knockout stage is huge in these kinds of quick tournaments. But yeah, so I don't think this really says anything for 100 Thieves or Dignitas for the rest of the season. I think it was just kind of one of those quick upsets that, they happen every now and then.
Yeah, it happens.
They just need to avoid adding any Australian people to the team.
God damn it, Krabs.
Vendetta continues.
Always. So that's going to do it for our coverage of LCS this week. I thought we should probably talk about at least, a little bit of MOBA, a little bit of something that's going on in the world in esports, like the show is about. Moving on, though, we always like to cover something, a little heartwarming, a little just little friendly for our last story. You know,
chicken soup for your gaming soul.
A little chicken soup for the esports soul. And today I wanted to touch on a couple of videos that I saw recently from an outlet called Action Esports, and this one is very close to our interests. Obviously,
it's called
talking
Two
about
Girls, One Cup.
No, it's not. It's not at all crab.
Damn.
And
yo,
actually the history of the wave dash and the wombo combo. Two things that are super important in esport or in Smash esports. I know you guys know all about wombo combo. I know you know all about wave dashing, but to hear the history of both of those things, I thought was really interesting. And if you haven't checked these videos out and you have 20 minutes or so, make sure you check them out because they're actually really awesome, really well produced.
Yeah, wombo comboing especially. There have been many who have tried to recreate a better wombo combo. I've seen it in pretty much every installment of Smash since that initially happened with, I believe that was Homemade Waffles on the mic. I couldn't even think of a better commentator to call that shit out at the time. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it attempted in Brawl. I've seen it attempted in Smash 4, 3DS, Ultimate. And there's just something about that melee doubles magic, that melee doubles storytelling that we've seen that just puts that wombo combo leagues ahead of all the other ones. Like, it's just it's just one of those happy, like, perfect accidents. Kind of like how we all exist here on planet Earth. The Earth had to spin a certain type of way at a certain axis. Like, that's what that was. That was just, damn. How did anybody who had the opportunity to see that in person? Very, very lucky people.
Yeah, the coolest thing about that is it's like still referenced today, like, not in like just like a meme way. Like you can be in other communities or just talk in general and everybody knows what that is. Everybody knows that combo. It's that iconic. So yeah, if you got the time, I'd check that video out. I mean, it's like 20 years just in general worth of history with a game like with a game like that anyway. So why wouldn't you invest the time? Especially if you like the competitive scene too. You're just interested in some of the cool little, not even niche things, but like the historic value that some of these things have, and are still a good reference to that for good reason. Shit's hype.
Yeah, I thought your point exactly is why I think this is so important. And they talk about, that in the video about how wombo combo, yes, is popped up in other esports, especially in MOBAs, since to be a wombo combo, it kind of needs to be two players or more, ganging up on one person to just deliver an all out, just crazy amount of damage for a insane beatdown. So yeah, like MOBAs are perfect for that. So yeah, the LCS and other MOBA leagues, you'll see it pop up in their commentary all the time, and it's just really fun to see that and to know that comes from Smash. Like the Smash community can hold on to that, and they have that forever, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good things that come with Smash, obviously, and there's some cultural, historical pieces that I feel like can be certainly transcended over to other games. I mean, in Smash, we use a lot of the terminology from the FGC, like free and things like that. In theory, that is something that goes all the way back to the arcade days. That really has nothing to do with Smash and how it's played, because we're playing on the console at home while the people from the arcades had to pay to stay on. And so little things like that, I never really thought that Smash had that until like the wombo combo stuff. And I'm gonna be real, Homemade Waffles, if you're watching this, you should have coined that damn phrase, okay? Because you'd be a millionaire right now. Other esports are spamming.
Absolutely.
Every time I eat Burger King, my gastrointestinal tract gets wombo comboed.
Man, what's up, dude?
Love it. Don't eat Burger King anymore. You don't want that wombo combo on your gut.
No, you don't. You don't.
You don't. But you do want to watch these videos if you like Smash Brothers or if you like fighting games in general. And if you're here, obviously you like one of the two. The history of the wave dash is also very interesting, and it's really cool how it stems from other games in the arcade fighting scene as well. It actually comes from Tekken, which is something that's very near and dear to your heart. I know you know that, Rodney. And it's really cool, actually, that wave dashing is in Smash Ultimate in a way, because Kazuya's wave dash was preserved in his moveset when they brought him to Ultimate, which I thought was really awesome, how they went that far to preserve his little dash that he can do all the way from the original Tekken.
Yeah, it's important. Look, all right, so obviously y'all know I like Tekken and I like Smash Bros. I didn't know I thought I'd like both of those things together, like how I kind of like Pokken Tournament. I kind of like Pokemon and Tekken together. I say, how could Smash fuck this up? I'm on the Hitbox website for Kazuya's moves, all right? And if anybody's ever been to that website, you know the one I'm talking about. When the character turns blue, they're intangible. They can just press buttons and do things, and you can't do a damn thing about it. 75% of Kazuya's moves, he's blue. So you just, when he's doing the move, you just gotta, when he's wave dashing, you can't do anything about that. Now, as somebody who's played Tekken, Kazuya's a really good character, but he's not as like offensively in your face. He's not as long as Heihachi and Jin. He plays very close to himself. So it's basic is bait and punish. But in Smash, he can just press buttons. And but to your point though, Brian, the wave dash mechanic is a cool mechanic from an innovative standpoint. But as we know in Smash, innovation and competitive viability have not gotten along since ever in this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, just wanted to highlight those two videos and, give it a little shout out to something that was, a little more wholesome and just provided some education for esports in general. I think that'll do it, though, for this episode of Wide World of Electronic Sports. That's all the big news of the week. But, of course,
now the most
there's always
news.
Sauce talk. That's right. The most important news of the week is the sauce talk.
Yes,
and
sir.
We have a couple stories that people got to see, people got to know about. The first one is 10 fast food hacks that'll save you money. Will these save you money, Rod? What do you think?
I think so. So look, me and Phil have a shared love for Culver's. All right, when there's a Culver's in the vicinity, guess where you're gonna find Phil and Rod? At Culver's. Okay, we eat there all the damn time. That hack on the I think it was if you order a kid's meal, the burger and fries are still the same size, but then you also get a free ice cream cone as well. Why did I not know this? I'm a simple man. I don't get fancy shit at those spots. I just get a regular burger and fries. Now I'm going to start ordering the kids' meals. I like a little ice cream. All right.
Those kind of tactics are like broken because, like, even if they're like, "Where's your kid?" I mean, he's in the car. What do you ask questions for? You freaking creep. Give me the damn meal and I'm out of here.
That's why you always bring a gun.
You got to be aggressive. I'm not that aggressive.
I think the Culver's kids meal is a good fast food hack. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I think it is too. There's a lot of other really good hacks.
He's a little frozen.
Oh, rip Phil.
I gotta wait for him to come back because I need to air a grievance.
I think there was a Starbucks one in there too for all my Starbucks fiends and coffee drinkers in the chat out there. They had one where ask for a water cup and then you can share a drink. Some of them were a little bit of a stretch, and then some of them were actually like genius. But the Starbucks one was a stretch for me. But the best one by far for my taste buds was the Culver's one. That was just phenomenal. That was amazing.
I watched this entire video. It actually popped up in my feed earlier in the weekend, and I sat through it. And by the time I was done with it, all I could think about was that this guy is the world's biggest ass clown and deserves to be punched in the stomach for doing all this stuff, and then he filmed it and did it. Man, come on, man. This guy's a clown. Don't be doing this stuff out here.
Well, there was a Wendy's one too. I thought the Wendy's one was strange. If you ask for a Baconator fry or whatever, and then you ask for it without bacon, somehow you end up getting cheese fries for a cheaper price than what you would have just gotten cheese fries for normally had you just asked for that. And I'm just like,
all this stuff does is just further annoy the people that are not being paid well enough in the fast food place. They won't say it to your face because they're nice people, but this guy is an asshole.
Phil!
We gotta get Phil. Phil's driver's gotta get him back in the signal.
Gotta get back underneath the tower. Get underneath the tower. Oh, well, I got to comment on the McDonald's one, though, as someone who is kind of close to McDonald's myself. The McDonald's one there is if you order items through the app, you can then get sauces up to like 5 of them each for free, basically, because the app doesn't charge you for sauces like the restaurant does when you order stuff, through the drive-thru or whatever. And you're like, yeah, let me get 5 sweet and sours. Are like, okay, well, we got to charge you for any more than like 2 of them, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you know, you got to pay like 22 cents, I think. And now it is per sauce at McDonald's. I mean, that's an okay one. It's not bad. But there's another one that I can tell you about the app if you like to get breakfast at McDonald's. And that is for states that have instituted like a bag fee. You know, like Washington, I don't know if California has one, but like if you get a large bag or a plastic bag, you know, from somewhere with your item, you have to pay like 8 cents or whatever for that now as a measure to reduce plastic. If you order on the app, there is no bag fee. So you can get, you know, your hotcakes, you can get your stuff on that platter all day long, get that giant bag, and you'll never have to pay the bag fee through the app.
That would make sense because when Phil and I were at Let's Make Big Moves, we made a couple, maybe one too many McDonald's visits. And one of the times we went, our buddy Dre was with us, and he was just hell bent on ordering off the app. I'm like, bro, if you don't want to touch the kiosk, I get it. We're in New York. Probably not touching shit here is in your best interest. He was like, nah, man, it's just cheaper on the app. And I'm just like, bro, are you penny pinching at Ronald McDonald's fucking house right now? But now that I hear this all makes sense. This all actually makes sense. And I might have
to get those extra sauces and get around that bag fee. Order on the McDonald's app, and you won't.
I might have to start doing it. I wish I would have known this when I was buying Pokemon cards up at that, you know, in the kids' meals and stuff. I would have tried to figure out a way to weasel around that. I spent too much money.
This shit gibbon went to Chick-fil-A and ordered a piece of bread with melted cheese on it. I wish the people at the drive-thru would have reached through his car and slapped the shit out of him.
I don't care about making a piece of bread with melted cheese on it. That's easy. People who work there don't, you know, that's fine for them. It's just less things to do for one sandwich.
It took them more time to custom up this ticket than it did. Oh, come on now. I'm all about getting a deal, but come on now.
Yeah, some of them are a stretch. They're a stretch.
It's like the one where he went to Culver, he's like, it's exactly the same with the kids' meal, and it shows a giant soda and a giant fries next to the junior soda and junior thing. He's like, it's the same price for the same food. And I'm like, yeah, if you don't tell the truth.
Yeah, like, and then the fact that he's like blatantly lying in your face about it. I mean, there are some hacks.
Why are his eyes so red?
If I'm in the drive-thru and I'm like, okay, I could get a big, you know, adult size, but I don't really want that much Sprite. You know, maybe I'm just not in a fry mood or whatever. I'm here for the burger, as most people are. I could see myself supplementing it for the kids' meal. And then I get the ice cream cone too. But in trying to compare both as the exact same, like, that's just not true. They're two very different meals.
This guy gets all the ice cream and all the coffee all over his car in multiple shots in this video. There's just grease and shit all over.
That's the best part about it.
Oh, man. When he was eating that McFlurry, he was just slinging the ice cream all over the inside of his Civic or whatever he's in. It did make sense. I don't know. Maybe I need to calm down.
Maybe we should get him on the show for the next sauce talk.
What do you think? The milk in the seat too. Oh man.
I think we should get this guy on the show. Let's hit him up. We should be like, yo, you should come talk with us so you and Krabs can have some words.
Like, this guy's hypothetical. He's like, you're going to Starbucks a couple times a day. You can save a little bit by getting this. You can save a little bit by brewing your own fucking pot of coffee and not giving $9 to Starbucks for this thing.
That's absolutely true.
Hey,
is a menu hack you won't hear anywhere else, people.
Hey, Starbucks has never hurt anybody. Krabs, let's not get carried away here, all right? Good people.
No offense to anybody that wants to drink your coffee, but if you're trying to go and save money, stop going there.
Yeah, I back my friends in black and green. Okay, those are my people.
All right.
Well, those are 10 fast food hacks that you can try that are supposedly ways to save money. No guarantees, obviously. I mean, go to Culver's or that kids meal. Be that person who orders the kids meal at Culver's and they know that you ain't got no kids.
Oh man, I've seen the part of the video now where the guy forces them to give him 60 sauces through the window without him only paying for a single cheeseburger. What an a-hole.
But one thing that you shouldn't do, apparently, is order these items from your favorite fast food spots. There's another one that we wanted to talk about that is a huge list of 42 things to never order from some of your favorite fast food spots. What did you think about these, Rodney? Were there any that really stuck out to you?
The biggest one for me was the first one, or one of the first couple, but it's the Panda Express. Look, I am not a Panda Express fan at all. All right, and I don't give a damn what part of the world. You know, some fast food spots like, but you got to have it in Seattle. You got to have it in Saskatchewan. I'm like, nah, this is some dog shit. Panda Express is dog shit, and I stand behind that firmly. I already had, suspicions about the food, very questionable meat, very, questionable smells. It doesn't even smell like a Chinese food restaurant when I walk in. And, I'm looking at the orange chicken.
Chinese food.
What'd you say?
That it is not Chinese food.
Yeah, it's something else. It's doctored up to look like something, but they have the orange chicken. It is allowed to sit out all day and dry. And instead of maybe going to the back and chopping up, or if it's already chopped up, unthawing some already good chicken, they just put more sauce on the dried chicken already and then pass it off. I think Wendy's has one too with their chili. Now, I've never worked at Wendy's before, but they say that if you taste the chili, that the burger meat that's in it is actually just really old ass hamburger meat. Is that true?
Krabs has told you this. Krabs has told you this a couple of times.
2 days. Yeah, they store it for up to 2 days after it's already been cooked on the grill. They put it in a wet pan, and then they dump that at night, and they'll wrap it and put it in the back. And then when they make the new chili for over the next 2 to 3 days, they'll just chop that meat up and throw it in there. Don't eat Wendy's is sensational, but don't eat the chili. That's the one thing.
When you go to Wendy's, you do eat the chili. That's what I do. As a person that was there and also saw another human being I worked with stick his entire goddamn arm in the chili. He got in trouble.
He got hurt. You won't want to eat the sausage.
Don't eat the chili at my particular Wendy's, but the rest of them, yes, they use the hamburgers from either the previous night or whatever ends up in the chili. And anybody that makes real chili knows you got to sit something in there a couple days to get them flavors. It's in the name of chili. If you can't handle it from Wendy's, then go to Dairy Queen and get that nasty ass chili. Sorry.
The McDonald's slide references the grilled chicken and how you wouldn't want to order that because a lot of times it just sits in their holding cabinet without getting used, and instead of throwing it out and making more, they just keep retiming it. And yeah, I can absolutely tell you that's facts, but McDonald's doesn't serve the grilled chicken anymore. They haven't since COVID started. So you can't get that there anymore. But I can tell you firsthand the things that sell the least, at least in my experience, that you might want to stay away from. And that might be something that you order all the time and you don't want to hear. I can tell you the spicy McChicken does not sell at nearly as high of a rate as the regular McChicken. So it might be sitting there for a little while. And the filet of fish. However, filet of fish is on 2 for $6 right now. So it actually gets run through a little bit faster. But when it's not on 2 for $6, the filet of fish is basically the new grilled chicken, where it doesn't get used that often at all.
Yeah, that is just
tastes like it.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Definitely tastes like it. But then again, I'm not really going to McDonald's for
when I think fresh seafood. I think McDonald's.
Yep.
I mean, maybe I just like fish more than the average guy, but there have been times where I've had to.
Yeah, but you go to Long John Silver's and enjoy a nice fish basket.
We only have, I don't know if I have a Long John Silver's out here in New York, but over in Nebraska, we have at least 2 left. And I go every so often, but
But you wouldn't go there and order the pork chop sandwich because you understand that it's a Long John Silver's and that maybe they're not that great at making pork chop sandwiches. Just,
Yeah, you make a good point. You make a good point. You're right.
Don't go to Little 100%. Caesars and order the prime rib. It's not something they're that good at.
That's basically the rule of thumb for the slide about Buffalo Wild Wings on here, which they say if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, don't eat anything other than the wings because it's all trash except for the one thing that they are known for.
My favorite slide here is Burger King, where this girl says, absolutely do not go to Burger King if you're going to order the chicken sandwich. I remember I ordered this thing and I had to sit there and wait while they fried them up while they cooked, and I didn't get it fast. That sounds like a wonderful experience to go to a fast food place.
That's what you want, I thought.
Not this lady.
I guess
don't count on the chicken tenders.
Fresh food is the biggest inconvenience. If that's the biggest thing they can say about Burger King, that's kind of an advertisement for Burger King, I would say.
I think so too. I mean, I think Burger King needs to start selling a side of Pepto-Bismol or something of the sort with their food. Maybe like a Pepto-Bismol shake or drink. But outside of that, the food is actually what it appears to be. So, I mean, you can't take anything away from the king.
We'll give you that wombo combo on your gut.
This lady complained that Chick-fil-A food might not actually be gluten-free, so be careful.
Oh no.
Oh,
you wouldn't want to get gluten with your Chick-fil-A.
Lady says don't go to Taco Bell and order a quesadilla because it has to be steamed and grilled, and you'll be waiting in line. I would pay extra if I knew I was getting Taco Bell food that would be warm.
That's absolutely true. There's so many times where I don't know if it's not warm enough or they just didn't cook it long enough because they were in such a hurry, but I've gotten like a quesadilla and the cheese just isn't even melted all the way in the middle, and nobody wants to eat that.
It's not cut properly either. Yeah, I have that experience sometimes. So sounds like something like she's just an inconvenience, but I don't think it's an inconvenience to have that shit cooked properly. I'll wait.
This lady said, watch out for the salads at Dairy Queen.
Didn't even know they serve salads. Why am I eating a Dairy Queen salad, of all places? Dairy Queen has to be like one of the most unhealthiest places on the planet.
That is absolutely hilarious.
They're trying to change that, Rod.
Hey. I ain't trying to hear it, man. I'm here for my blizzards. I'm here to eat. I'm not here to eat no damn salad. Imagine saying, hey, give me the largest tub of ice cream you got and then a side salad. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You think they wanted the blizzard on top of the salad?
Look, don't give these crazy people any ideas. All right, we've been covering TikTokers too much. You know it's coming.
This lady says don't eat the tuna salad at Subway because it's full of mayonnaise.
Actually, it's funny. I wish Denny was here. I seen a tweet earlier that said New York and Chicago need to set aside their differences because there is a new, crime among us. And there are friends over in Pittsburgh. Actually, they're not my friends, but the people over in Pittsburgh are now eating pizza with unmelted cheese. They're just putting shredded cheese on pizza and just eating it. Like, they're not even melting the pizza, not really cooking it. They're just eating it. And I was just like, find these people and lock their ass up. They're going to jail.
The guy at McDonald's is complaining, don't come through McDonald's and ask us to make fresh fries unless you're willing to wait a couple minutes for those fries to cook.
Well, yeah. I mean,
no salt.
Same thing. Yeah, about the no salt, you don't even have to do no salt. You can just say cook to order. Like, it's a thing you can do. Like, there's a button for that.
As long as you act like a kind human and treat the folks there with the respect they're willing to accommodate orders and work with you. Just be a cool person.
That's all it takes, exactly.
I'm always down to wait for fresh fries. I mean, that's just, my burger can suck. My drink can have all the ice in the world in it, but my fries can't be whack, though.
An absolutely perfect, hot off the fryer McDonald's French fry container is one of life's little pleasures.
It's definitely one thing that everybody craves every now and then.
This guy says don't eat the hot dogs at 7-Eleven after 2 in the morning.
Don't eat anything at 7-Eleven. What are we doing?
Yeah.
This guy says be careful at Denny's. The food they have is frozen before they make it for you.
I'm pretty sure you can say awesome. About any restaurant.
Hopefully Phil heard that. He's careful on his trip not to go to any place that might have served food that was frozen at one point.
Yes. I actually had onion rings once that were undercooked. I went to a restaurant.
This list is terrible.
Yeah, the list is bad, but I had some really bad onion rings once from a place in Nebraska that probably doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, I mean, some of these places just aren't even really trying, and at least some of these restaurants, are doctoring up the experience to make it seem like the food's cooked. But then there's some that just they're just whatever,
Yeah, we got another Arby's one. The girl complains, don't order the chicken at Arby's unless you feel like sitting in the parking lot for 8 minutes for them to cook it.
All right, so it sounds like this list is just people being impatient.
I think it's just one lady that's going to all these places and is upset that she didn't get the food immediately.
It's invalid. Don't listen to it. Form your own opinions. That's my take.
Pretty much. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing us this list. It was fun to look at, though, that's for sure. It gave us something to talk about. But I did want to touch on one more thing out there in Sauce Talk news. I didn't have a slide or B-roll prepared for it. I'm so sorry. But that's the $2 Wendy's Frosty tag that you can go get. For $2, you can get that Frosty tag that gets you a free Frosty Jr. with any purchase throughout the entire year. Phil, what do you got? I mean, do you think that's a good deal? I mean, should the people do it?
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. 100%. But they did this before, and I remember I took advantage of it. And I'm glad it's back because I'm gonna go do it again. Like it's just anytime you just want like a little cool little treat right there. It's just cheap, about as cheap as it gets, about as convenient as it gets, and a Frosty's just good, straight up. So I do. If if you're into that kind of stuff, you like the frozen treats, take advantage of it.
I'll finish that for Phil. Take advantage of it because you'd be an idiot not to.
Yes,
No,
yes.
I love a Frosty. Who doesn't love a Frosty? Free with any purchase. I mean, you just get a small fry, and then you can dip those fries in your Frosty.
When
And
you
got
go
a
pick up
go-to
your
snack.
gallon of chili, you can get the Frosty on the side.
Yes, you can also get a free Frosty with your gallon of chili with its pound of 7-day-old hamburger meat.
Love it.
Absolutely love it. No, I just wanted to touch on that. And apparently this all goes to support a good cause as well. It goes to the Dave Thomas Foundation, which is a charity, kind of like a lot of fast food places have, big charities or whatever, because they gotta have something that looks
like
good.
the Ronald McDonald House for kids.
Exactly. So yeah, if you want to support a good cause, get a free Frosty treat anytime you go to McDonald's. And not only is it the like key tag that you can put on your keychain, like a little physical laminated one, but if you don't want to bother with that, if you don't really have keys that you walk around with, they have a digital Frosty tag that you can get in the app, which will give you a QR code every single time you visit for that same free Frosty. I'm just
Also,
chilling
when
out
you
here,
install
chilling.
the Wendy's app on your phone, that you have to give it permission to do the other stuff in your phone, and it listens to you while you sleep.
That's
not just
the best
Wendy's,
part.
by the way.
They're all listening.
You think that Popeyes app that you have on your phone is just for discounts? They listen to you sleep, and they sell your information to Big Chicken. That's the cell phone hustle. All these free apps. If that app's free, you're the customer, son. You better learn it. You better learn it. Better know it.
Krabs, thank you for bringing us the most important lesson of Sauce Talk I think we'll ever get. That all of those fast food apps are listening to you sleep. Yeah, that's great. But no, for real, the $2 Frosty tag is pretty cool. I don't know if I'll get one. I don't really go to Wendy's often enough for me to take advantage of it. But it was just linked over there in Wide World of Esports, and I just thought it was cool. And it's definitely something that needs to be talked about on Sauce Talk.
Are you willing to reveal the ultimate fast food hack to the folks watching here?
What is it?
Because I know that you know it.
Well, I know it.
So everybody knows that the later you go out at night, when you pull up the McDonald's, that there is the 85% chance that the quote-unquote machine is down that serves the milkshakes and the Frosties and the McFlurries and all that. What is the secret code you say to the weary person there near close to get them to flip that machine back on? Maybe they've even cleaned it. Well, that's a big assumption.
So the thing is, it depends. I guess it just depends on the night crew there, or if the store is open 24 hours. If it's a 24-hour store, their ice cream machine should always be running. And I've never had an instance where they said that the machine wasn't running. I guess all these people live in some regions where it's acceptable for the ice cream machines to just not be running all the time. But I've never seen it happen where I'm at. All of our stores, all the stores, they keep their ice cream machines going. But it definitely, if you get there like right before they're going to close, if they close at midnight and you're rolling up at 11 o'clock, there's a very good chance that they've already cleaned that machine. They've already broken it down. They pulled the nozzles out and all that stuff. And you're not going to get your milkshake.
So if ours closes at 8, you think they're cleaning it by
Blizzard
7
or whatever? I'm sorry, if it closes at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it closes at 8 and you're getting there at 7 o'clock, you're not getting that ice cream. It's not going to happen.
God damn it.
No, Sam, not all of our McDonald's run 24. Not all of our fast food places run 24/7 here.
Yeah,
a lot of them close. It just depends on where you're at. If you live in if you live in a place like where EE's at, or New York or whatever, you can get fast food 24/7 of any type because somebody's keeping them open. But
remember that Australia is a prison colony, and you can't trust a prisoner will go to sleep when they need to, so they have to have the Maccas open 24/7.
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna say where you're at, Krabs, 8 o'clock. Wow, I'm surprised they closed that early. That's crazy.
A lot of places close early. It's weird. Oh yeah, they have that Mick conveyor or whatever the lady told me it's called, where they're not allowed to have drinks poured by the staff in the store. They have to wait for the robot to do it. And so if you get the wrong drink, they can't do anything about it because there's a conveyor.
I mean, you can, there is a conveyor for the drive-thrus.
This is what I've been told multiple times through the window.
For sure. That's how it is at all fast food places. They have conveyors for their drinks at the drive-thrus. But
no, this definitely sounds like a robot. You can feel it shaking through the wall when you're pulled up at the thing. And then these two drinks will pop up at the window. It just like drops them off of a belt into this thing.
Basically, if somebody's telling you that you can't get the drink you want because you ordered it wrong, then they just don't want to do their job anymore, because there's no way they can't just push a button to get it to spit out whatever drink you want. I mean, you might have to wait a second for it to come around the line again, but that's all.
Weird. All right. Well, I always wanted to know. Thank you for helping me out with that.
You're absolutely welcome. And if you need to know anything about sauce-related topics, you can always count on us here at Sauce Talk. I think that'll do it, though. We got to get on to our Cortex winner of the week and or Shack Pets Showdown, whatever we want to call it, because Shack Pets is the way to get those points. And, of course, our legendary 8 Mikey is using it to get all of those Shack points and win Shacknews overall for the week, doing it over and over again. Not putting up as many points as he used to, calming down a little bit, just a cool 400-something thousand. But the other interesting fact that I wanted to note is that the winner of the chatty for the week is none other than Mad Dog _ Delphi97. Yes, the other GOAT is back. The other king, Mad Dog, keeping it real, making sure he's the chatty winner. That's right. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Mad Dog, welcome back. I haven't talked about you on Cortex Corner for a little while, and it just wouldn't be Cortex Corner without you.
True. We missed you, man.
Just think, if he ever gets pets, it's all over.
That's true. He needs to just start uploading pictures of pets that, he finds on the internet for his gift threads, and just do that for Shack Pets, because I'm sure he'll figure out the meta sometime. But another interesting thing to note is that the winner of the day, Glorious Cow, won by less than 100 points. So there are some close races out there, people. I mean, that's just like one swipe on Shack Pets would get you well over that. So make sure you're out there using it. Get over there on Shacknews. Use Shacknews Cortex. Use Chatty. Use everything on the website, because it all earns you points. And make sure you're checking out Shack Pets on the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. It's totally free on both of them. Upload pictures, challenge other people's pets, duel to the death, or not to the death, but, swipe left and right, whoever you think is cuter. That's a little bit better. And like I said, it'll all earn you crazy amount of points. So we'll be talking about you on the Shacknews Cortex winner of the week / Shack Pets Showdown. I think that's going to do it, though, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on another week of the wide world of electronic sports. So glad to have you. Of course, I've been Bryan Lefler for Shacknews.com, contributing editor, joined by our illustrious technical director, who has been amazing today with all of the greatest hot takes. Thank you so much, Krabs. And
I don't think I should be celebrated.
I will celebrate you anytime. Of course, thank you so much to my co-hosts, Rodney Conyers Jr. So good to have you. Thank you again.
Yo, thank you for having me. It's been too long, man. We missed you. I mean, I've missed the show, but I know you and Denny weren't feeling the best, but I'm glad you guys are back.
Yeah, definitely glad to be back. And thank you to my other co-host, currently in transit, Phil, Phenomenal Visu. Amazing to have you. Thank you for all of your insight. Again, can't wait for next week.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was a good show. Glad to be back. Let's keep it consistent. It's a good time.
Let's do it. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here from Shacknews.com. See you later. Bye-bye now.